Since 1994, First Choice Business Brokers has sold over $12.5 billion in small and medium-sized Main Street businesses and is widely recognized as the country's most effective business brokerage. Let's go over the process of selling a business. First, let's cover time frame. The average amount of time it takes to sell a business in the United States today is running about 7 to 9 months. Occasionally, we do sell some businesses before they even hit the public market because we do have dozens of people calling in every day looking for businesses to buy. How will we value your business? Most of the time, we use what's called a market price assessment. It's what people are willing to pay. We have access to a database to the Small Business Association of all business sales. And we can look at those sales and we can tell you what banks are loaning on businesses like yours, and what offers are being made and accepted by owners of businesses like yours. From that information, we can get a price range of what your business is likely to sell for. You can then determine whether it makes sense to list your business. Now, if you do decide to list your business, whether it's right after you get that valuation or sometime down the road, the next thing we're going to do with you is have about a 45-minute call. On that call, a broker will ask you a lot of questions so we can create some marketing packages. As buyers start contacting us who are interested in your business, we also need to be able to answer all their questions without pulling you into conversations day after day after day. Now, with that information, we're also going to create confidential marketing packages. The most important thing to know about the way we market businesses is we do so confidentially. This means that no one's going to know it's your business for sale. Why is this so important? If your vendors, if your employees, if your competition find out you're looking to exit, that could cause some headaches that are just unnecessary. Next, we will list your business on hundreds of websites. First Choice has 80 locations nationwide. Each one has websites. You'll be advertised there. There are hundreds of other websites we advertise on throughout the country that promote business sales, and we cast a very large net. The other way we market a business is through our internal database. First Choice has been around since the mid-90s and has sold almost $13 billion in small businesses. And each one of those business listings really produces a vast number of potential buyers. So with that buyer database, we can find those buyers who are looking for businesses like yours and bring that data directly to them. We know that they are more likely than most to buy your business since they're already looking for a business like yours. There are a few other ways we get very proactive in market businesses, such as approaching similar businesses to see if they want to look at expansion opportunities and things of that nature. Once those buyers start calling in, we're going to vet them. We're going to make sure they're qualified. So what do I mean by qualified? Well, first, we are not going to do a single thing until they sign a non-disclosure. A non-disclosure agreement will protect any information that they learn about your business from being used or shared. The next thing we do is we check for proof of funds. Now, 90% of people calling in, contacting us about a business are unqualified because they simply don't have the money. So we make sure that they have a minimum of 20% cash liquid ready to go because we know that if they want traditional financing, that's going to require a 10 to 20% down payment. Oftentimes, these deals are cash deals, and the buyers will have the full cash price ready to go. Regardless, we do want to make sure they have a minimum of a down payment to make sure that they can buy the business. It doesn't make sense for us to share any information with anyone who cannot buy the business. Next, we answer their questions. When we do feel like we have someone who's a great potential fit for buying your business, we're going to introduce them to you. When we introduce them to you, they're going to really want to know two things. Keep in mind if they make it to you, they've signed a non-disclosure. They've proven that they've got the money to buy the business. They've learned about your business. They're interested in it. They want to buy the business. They're excited about it. So at this stage, the two things that they want to know is number one, do I trust this person? Now, if they don't trust the person running the business or the person who built the business, they're not likely to buy the business. But that's not really what the core piece of that conversation is. Really, the core piece of that conversation, all their questions are going to be about, are really all about the day-to-day operations. What they're trying to figure out at this point is, what's my life going to look like if I pull the trigger? Is this what I want to do day in and day out for the next 2, 5, 10, 20 years? These conversations are fun. You're excited about the opportunity of selling the business. They're excited about the opportunity to potentially buy your business. It's a good time for all. Now, when this is done, we'll start to get some offers. First Choice has all the legal documentation to make sure everything's on the up and up. We want to lay out the rules of engagement for the sale. We want to make sure we know exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how it's going to happen. We'll present that offer to you, and you can do whatever you want to with that offer. You can accept that offer. You can reject that offer. You can place a counter offer. Now, if you accept the offer, you like the buyer, you like their offer, we're moving to the next stage of the sale. and that stage is called due diligence. As we move into that stage of the sale, we will ask the potential buyer to put down a down payment, typically at 20%. A third-party closing attorney puts that down payment into an escrow account. Now, why is this important? Well, as we move into due diligence, the buyer of your business is going to have a lot of requests and questions. Up to this point, we've told the buyer a lot of information about your business, but we've really proven nothing. Due diligence is their chance to make sure we were honest, to make sure they know exactly what they're buying. They will likely request financial documents. So as we go into this due diligence phase, and you're being asked to give up sensitive material in some cases, we want to make sure that this buyer has skin in the game. This stage typically takes 2 weeks. Both parties sign off at the end of due diligence, saying that this is complete. You sign off saying I provided everything requested, and they'll sign off saying everything we requested was received, and now we move into closing the deal. Years ago, we would sit around a closing table, much like buying a house, and we'd sign off on documents and you'd get a cashier's check. Now, in the world we live in today, we may still do some deals that way, but oftentimes we're going to sign all the paperwork using DocuSign or something similar to transition the business. You can get paid still by cashier's check, but more often it's a wire directly into an account of your choosing immediately following closing. Now, that's not the end. Even though at this point you've been paid and your business is transitioned to the new owner, there's a final step. That final step is going to be transitioning the business. What this means is the buyer is going to need keys to a building if you have one. Maybe an introduction to the employees. They're going to need to know vendors, how to get into accounts, anything important for the day-to-day operations. We want to make sure we set them up for success. So that transition period is typically a week or two. It's outlined between you and the buyer. You know, a standard, very common transition agreement sounds like this. Hey, for 2 weeks, I'll come in 3 hours a day, show you the ropes. After that, we'll do 3 to 6 months of phone support. That's it. The business has been transitioned and you've been paid. If you're considering selling a business, reach out to First Choice. Remember, business valuations are free of charge, and you'll pay nothing until your business is sold at a price you're happy with.